Ketchum.
Hey guys, PokeDan here. So recently my friend Ben, aka NTT Maze, made a tag video which he tagged me in to talk about all of my opinions on Ash Ketchum's Pokemon. So of course, that's what I'm here to do today. I thought this idea looked pretty fun to do, so I want to be a part of it. So yeah, like this video title suggests, today you join me to talk about, well, my opinion on every Pokemon Ash has ever owned. Oh, except for Alola, because his team's not quite there yet, you know, it's not complete. So, maybe in the future, there's gonna be a part 2 to this tag, I don't know. Another thing, I'm gonna be tagging a few of my friends to also partake this challenge, but I'll be doing that at the end of the video. But yeah, let's get started. Okay, so first, we start off with Pikachu, of course, Ash's, best known Pokemon, his partner Pokemon. I like Pikachu, it's pretty cool. My favourite moment of Pikachu probably, I don't know, there's too many. Then we have Butterfree. Ash, of course, released his Butterfree and it was a tearjerker and pretty much everyone cried. If you didn't, then you're a monster. But yeah, Butterfree, I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, yeah, it wasn't on the team long enough for me to love it, but I didn't mind it, it was okay, it was cool. Then we have Pidgeot, the Pokemon Ash released and said he'd come back for. It wasn't a Pidgeot for very long. Most of its time in the anime was seeing it as a Pidgeotto. And as a Pidgeotto, I thought it was okay, it was a bit bland, didn't really, I wasn't really too bothered about it. Then after Pidgeotto, we had Bulbasaur. Ash had all of the Kanto starters, but Bulbasaur was the first one he had, and probably the most responsible. It was a cool Pokemon, it was very sweet, and yeah, that's just what I think about it, it's cool and sweet. Then, of course, came Ash's Charizard. He found it as a Charmander, abandoned by Damien, and he raised it all the way up to this giant lizard. And even though I've said before that when it was being, annoying to Ash, I personally found it annoying too, when it was kind, I found it to be a really cool Pokemon. After Charizard, we have Squirtle. Squirtle is pretty cool. I really liked it in the Squirtle squad, it was pretty cool. Especially that Squirtle, with sunglasses. That was awesome. But yeah, Squirtle, it's cool. Another water type Ash owned was Kingler. Kingler wasn't really shown off that much in the anime, but when it was, I guess it was okay. I'm not gonna lie, I can't be too overly excited for this Pokemon because it didn't really have that much screen time. But when it was on, I didn't dislike it, it was just fine, I guess. After Kingler, we have Primeape. Yet another Pokemon Ash hasn't come back for. See, Ash's Primeape, I feel like if he didn't leave it to train, it would have been one of those Pokemon everyone would remember. I mean, from the episodes it was in, it showed it had lots of personality, and I thought, it was alright, I suppose. Talking about personality, next up is Ash's Muck. Muck, again, it's not a Pokemon Ash always used, but we did see it with Professor Oak and Tracy every now and again, just smothering them. It was a very loving Pokemon, and yeah, I like that about Muck, it was funny too. Next up is Tauros. Well, 30 Tauros. And I can't really give an opinion on 30 of them because Lord knows we will be here till 2019. But yeah, I guess it was okay, and I mean for the ones that he did use in specific episodes, just okay I guess, I can't really say much more. A unique Pokemon he had that, he didn't have 30 copies of was a Lapras. And although Lapras was on his team temporarily in the Orange Island saga, it was still a cool Pokemon. It was pretty sweet and I liked it. The final Pokemon that Ash caught was also in the Orange Island saga, and it is his iconic Snorlax. Snorlax is a very lazy Pokemon, just in general, and Ash's, it proved to be a pretty strong fighter, and it was relied on by Ash quite a few times. I like this Pokemon, it's pretty funny, actually, no, it's great. But that wraps up Ash's Kanto team. Next up is his Johto team, kicking it off with Heracross. Heracross was a pretty funny member of Ash's team. I liked how he would just chow down on Bulbasaur's bulb, and honestly, I wish he would use it more. Then after that, we have Ash's first Johto starter, which is Bayleaf. As a Chikorita, it was pretty cute. As Bayleaf, it was also pretty cute. And it was funny, and I liked how it loved Ash so much. Then we have Quilava, which I'm gonna, refer to as Cyndaquil, because that's what it was throughout the Johto anime. And Cyndaquil, it was okay, it didn't really have that much of a personality, but it was a strong Pokemon and it was also adorable. Then we have Totodile, and although people think Totodile is one of Ash's, weaker, not weakest, weaker, Pokemon he's owned, it was also pretty damn funny, and I feel like that's something people forget. So Totodile was like the comedic value for the Johto anime, and I really liked it. Then of course we have Ash's shiny Noctowl, the only shiny that he has ever owned, and probably will ever own. Ash's Noctowl was pretty calm, I mean, it was okay. Again, it's another regional bird that I don't love, but it was alright, certainly. Then comes Ash's final Johto member, and it is Donphan, aka Phanpy, throughout the Johto saga. I liked Donphan as a Phanpy, it was pretty cute, and then when Ash brought it back in the Hoenn anime and it evolved, man, I just loved this Pokemon so much more. Speaking of Ash's Hoenn team, let's talk about his Swellow. Ash's Swellow, again, it was another regional bird that was just it was a bit quiet, but being just a Swellow fan in general, I liked it. Oh my god. Then we have Ash's Sceptile, one of his best ever team members. And yes, that is me being biased because I love Sceptile, but yeah, as you can tell, it's just awesome, and what can I say, I just really like it. Then we have Ash's Corphish, another cool member on his team, and it was also pretty funny as well. So yeah, I like Corphish. Then we have Ash's Torkoal. It was again another funny member of his Hoenn team, and I really liked it. It was cool, I guess that's it for Torkoal. After that, of course, came his Glalie. When it was a Snorunt, it was a pretty adorable Pokemon. And when it evolved, it got so much stronger, and well, it's another Pokemon that I think is pretty good. Then lastly on Ash's Hoenn team is his Aipom. Of course, he caught it in Hoenn, but then it went along to Sinnoh, and later got traded onto Dawn. But when Aipom was on Ash's team, it was one hilarious Pokemon. And yeah, I really liked it. So, now we are on Ash's Sinnoh team. So kicking it off for Sinnoh is his Staraptor. I know I have had, rather boring opinions on Ash's regional bird Pokemon so far, but his Staraptor is by far the best, well, in my opinion. And yeah, I really liked his Staraptor, and it had lots of personality. After Staraptor, we had Torterra, and honestly, I know this isn't a popular opinion by any means, but I preferred Torterra when it was a Turtwig. As a Turtwig, it had tons of personality, and that just kinda seemed to die down a bit when it evolved. Another starter Pokemon Ash had was his Infernape, and pretty much everything I said about Sceptile being awesome and I love it, yeah, just put it down here, because Infernape, best Pokemon ever owned by Ash. I'm sorry, but it is. What can I say? Another awesome Pokemon Ash owned was his Weasel. Of course, this is the Pokemon he traded Aipom for, and I think it made a really great addition to Ash's Sinnoh team. Not only was it awesome, but it was also a pretty strong fighter, and that's what Ash really could have used. Speaking of strong fighter, we have Gliscor. As a Gligar, it didn't really, well, it wanted to fight, but it wasn't really good at fighting. But when it evolved, it also got a lot stronger. Ash's Gliscor is a very funny Pokemon, and it's one of my favourite Pokemon he's owned. Kind of like his, Sceptile and Infernape, but maybe a bit below that. But yeah, I certainly really like Ash's Gliscor. After that is Ash's final Sinnoh member, and it is Gible. And we didn't really get to see much of Gible. I really wanted to see a bit more of it. When it was on the Sinnoh anime though, it was a pretty cool Pokemon, and I think given, a little more time in the spotlight, it would have been, so much better. So here's hoping that Gible comes back in a future season to get, well, a bit more love. Oh my god. Okay, so kicking off Ash's, Unova team is his Unpheasant. And as you can tell, I really don't like this Pokemon. I don't know, I just didn't like Ash's Unpheasant. It was really bland and, well, pretty boring. After Unpheasant comes his Oshawott. And although, you may have seen me diss on Oshawott in the past, it's all been to annoy my friend Ozimitsu because I know he loves Ash's Oshawott. But honestly, I think Oshawott is a pretty cool Pokemon. Is it strong? No, not at all. But it really provided some comedy that the Unova anime kinda just needed. After Oshawott comes Pignite, and Ash's Pignite had a very emotional backstory. It was abandoned as a Tepig and evolved when it was battling the person who abandoned it. And Pignite is definitely one of Ash's more stronger, Unova team members, and I thought it was pretty cool. Actually, same with Snivy too. Ash was given a Pokemon egg to, well, keep in the Unova anime, and it hatched to be a Scraggy. Ash's Scraggy had a pretty quirky personality, and I thought when it wasn't, bashing its head into other people like Scraggies do, it was an awesome Pokemon. After Scraggy came one of Ash's, more lovable captures, his Swaddle, except it evolved all the way to be a Leavanny. And Ash's Leavanny, man, what can I say, it's an awesome Pokemon, and I just love its anime cry, I won't play it now because Show Pro have been on my back. If you guys are watching, don't do that, that's very mean. But yeah, I like Ash's Leavanny. No, let's settle this now. Ash's worst Pokemon is this thing, his Palpitoad. Seriously, why does anyone like this thing? Ash didn't need a water type, he had a ground type as well in Crocodile, who we'll get to. I don't like it. Let's move on. Next up is Boldore, and I won't lie, I don't really have much of an opinion on Boldore. It's pretty boring, and that's all I can say about Boldore. So let's move on to a rather exciting Pokemon, his Crocodile. The, awesome Pokemon that his Unova team needed. Crocodile is my favourite member of Ash's, Unova team, because it was so badass, it was strong, and how could you not like them shades? You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, that pretty much wraps up his, Unova team, so let's move on to Kalos. So in Kalos, he started off with a Froakie, and it evolved to be a Greninja. We know that a lot went down with this Greninja, with its Ash Greninja form. And what can I say? I really like this Pokemon. Like everyone else, I think it's awesome. Then we have Talonflame, another one of Ash's, regional bird Pokemon that I really liked. Not that it really had tons of personality, but what can I say? I just like Talonflame in general. It's a really cool Pokemon. After that is another flying type Ash caught, well, also a fighting type. It's his Hawlucha. And this is probably one of Ash's most underrated Pokemon because, well, it's really awesome and not enough people talk about it. As you can tell, I really like Hawlucha. Then we have Goodra. Ash caught it as a Goomy and it evolved it all the way. Then, of course, released it like Ash just does. I think it's just his thing, like Ralph wrecks it, Ash releases the Pokemon, so yeah. But Goodra was an awesome Pokemon, and seeing it in the anime really made me like it as a Pokemon so much more. After Goodra, we have Ash's final Pokemon that I'm going to talk about in this list because, well, we aren't talking about Alolamons, it's his Noivern. Ash found Noivern as a Noibat in an egg, and honestly, it evolved a lot sooner than I think anyone really thought it would. But that doesn't matter because Noivern as a Pokemon is really cool. I remember seeing Noivern in the Unova anime towards the end, and I thought, yeah, this is an Ash Pokemon, he's gonna get one of these. And well, he did. But yeah guys, that's it for Ash's Pokemon. Let's move on to who I'm gonna tag to also do this. So they are Kalos Pokemon, Osimitsu, Arizo, Mystic Umbreon, and Double Dark. If you guys want to do it, feel free to do so anytime you like. And yeah, it was a fun, tag to take part in. So with that being said, also thank you to Entity Maze for tagging me. If you guys haven't checked him out already, I will link his YouTube channel down below as well as the, original tag video. You guys should check it out. But with all that being said, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. And I know I don't usually say it, but recently I've seen that my subscriptions aren't going into the sub boxes. So if you really are a massive fan of the channel, then yeah, be sure to click the notifications. But with all that being said, for now, I've been PokeDan and you've been amazing, and I'll see you guys next time.